why would anyone put up with these difficulties unless one has a long-term vision, long-term goal, or a deeper purpose? So, so if somebody has got a meaning, only then they will put up with all these difficulties and long-term practice and all these things. For example, I read somewhere that somebody who came to a therapist for his stammering, and therapist asked him, "Why do you want to work at your stammering at this stage in life?" He must have been 30s or so. And finally, he said that the problem is I'm going to get married soon, and I want to take my marriage vows, without too much difficulty. That is why I want to work on my stammering. So that is the whole idea behind this session, that we can work on our stammering only when we have a deeper purpose, a long-term goal, a meaning in this suffering. Okay, with that small introduction, let me go to Sanjay Ojha. Sanjay Ojha, what is your take? And in the last, I'll come to Dr. Amit Bajaj. I'm sure he has got something interesting to say. Sanjay,
हाँ सर।
तो आप क्या कहना चाहेंगे इस बारे में?
सर किस बारे में, जो आपने कहा अभी उसी बारे में?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये उसकी पर्पस। अच्छा, इसको मैं ऐसे कर देते हैं, ये तीन क्या, एवरीवन कैन सी ऑन द स्क्रीन दिस
यस
थ्री
सर।
स्टेट। तो आप ये बताओ कि किसके साथ आप आइडेंटिफाई करते हो अपने आप, द ब्लैक वन, द रेड वन, और द ब्लू वन? लाइफ हैज ए पर्पस असाइंड बिफोर बर्थ, इज दैट व्हाट यू बिलीव?
सर
और
मुझे सेकंड वाले में।
लाइफ हैज नो क्रिएटिव, ठीक है, वन हैज टू क्रिएट इन्वेंटेड। ओके, so let me go to Yatharth Sharma. Yatharth, which position you identify with and why?
Yes, sir. So, if I can make out from these, second one makes more sense. Like ideally, this should be done. But yeah, sometimes the third one also just keeps in the mind from time to time. So,
Uh,
but yeah, the second one makes more sense.
can you
That
tell
I. Mhm.
was there a time in your life when you believed in position number three with more?
What's I wasn't able to understand.
Some point in your life, 6 months back or 6 years ago, did you believe point number three?
Point number three. Yeah, I mean, because 6 years ago or so, I wasn't that much capable of knowing what all has. Like I had just seen my parents and all. They were there, so a family and just have kids and just take care of them. And yeah, that's the whole purpose, and that's how life goes on. So this was always there for me. I think life has no purpose. It just cycles that are happening. So that, but yeah, I can now understand. Since 2 3 years, I have seen people and how they are changing. Some of them are changing life. Their mindset is very different. So they have found a purpose. So I don't know if that is the purpose for them, but yeah, they have found a purpose and which is helping them go fight for it and go beyond the comfort zone to get it. So that is something I also want to do.
Thank you, Yatharth. Let me go to Ankit Singla. Ankit, what is your position? Which one of these you identify with, or one or more than one, or is there any transition in recent past from point number one to two or three to one? Over to Ankit.
Uh, yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. Uh, तो सर मुझे लगता है कि लाइफ हैज नो प्री डिटरमाइंड पर्पस। लाइक ये नहीं है कि हम मतलब कोई मतलब हमको पर्पस खुद से क्रिएट करना होता है। अगर हम विदाउट एनी पर्पस लाइफ को जिएंगे तो आई थिंक उसमें कोई भी डिसिप्लिन नहीं होगा। उसमें उसमें हम उसमें हम जो हमारा मन करेगा हम वही करेंगे। मतलब हम हमारे पास कुछ भी दिशा नहीं होगी कि हमको कहाँ जाना है, हमको आज क्या करना है। तो आई थिंक हाँ, बट ये है कि वो पर्पस को हम खुद से डिसाइड कर सकते हैं कि आपका पर्पस क्या होगा, कि आपका रास्ता क्या होगा। तो आई थिंक सेकंड इज फॉर मी लाइक।
Thank you, Ankit. Thank you so much. Let me now invite Sagar. Sagar, can you hear me?
Uh, yeah, yes, sir. I can hear you. Actually, I have joined the video right now.
Okay, no problem. Uh, Even if you can't put your video on, it's okay, as long as you can talk and listen. So you have to think about which one of these three positions you identify with. Do you think life has a purpose assigned before birth? I mean, are we born with
Okay.
a mission, with a purpose, or do we discover it later on Earth, or or do you believe that there is really no such thing like a purpose in life? One should simply live happily as far as you can.
Sir, actually, I think the point is right because uh, actually there is one quote. If you might know uh, that soldiers are born, they are not created. So I think this is still point number one, but I think point number two is right because life has no life has no predetermined purpose. One has to create it. Uh, uh, the purpose of human is to explore and learn the new skills. So I think we have to like know our own skills, and by that only we can come to know our goals or passion.
Thank you, sir.
So
Go on, complete it. Yes.
yes, so I agree with the point number two for myself.
Thank you, Sagar. And by the way, I saw your interview with your professor. It was quite good. Thank you.
Thank you,
Now,
sir.
let me invite Dr. Amit Bajaj about this whole thing. How can a stammerer find purpose in stammering or in his efforts from recovering from it? What are his therapeutic anecdotes or observations? Dr. Amit Bajaj.
Thank you, everybody. Good to see everyone. Sorry for the 4 week gap. I was away for a couple of weeks, and then I came back to a whole lot of work, and Mondays were just not open for me at that time. So I'm here again, and I look forward to keep joining you. Very interesting conversation, very interesting topic as always. I've identified with all three positions at various times in my life, thinking that there's no purpose of any kind, to thinking that I need to create it, to thinking that now that I've created it, that must be the assigned purpose at birth. So I've circulated back and forth in these positions for a very long time. As far as purpose, creating a life around purpose regarding our speech is concerned, I think we come to it at different stages in our lives. I realized very early on that the purpose I wanted to create in my life was to work in the stammering space in some way. I didn't know what that work would look like, whether I would teach, whether I would do research, whether I would do clinical work, whether I would do any of those things. I had no idea. But I knew that I wanted to make the purpose of my life working in the stammering space. And that happened because of a pretty transformational event that occurred to me in my early 20s, and that made me question a lot of things. So I think a lot of times the purpose, whether we create it or not, it could be an evolutionary process, and all of a sudden, for some of us, it happens quite quickly, where we go through some big upheaval or some big change, and then we realize that really that was actually informative. That was actually a learning opportunity for me. So I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dhruv is left somehow. Dhruv, what is your take?
Um, yeah, yeah. So for me, I agree with points 2 and 3. So basically that like life has no purpose, like an ant or like an elephant or whatever it is. But at the same time, so I kind of think that since we're here, we can still like do something meaningful with our lives, to help others around us, to help the planet, help other species. So yeah, I think it's up to us to kind of make our lives meaningful. And I think when you kind of go beyond your body and mind and think about others, or think about the larger life as a whole, and help that larger life, other species or environment or whatever, I think then your life actually becomes more meaningful, um, than just saying I want to be healthy or I want to make more money or whatever. So yeah, I think that's how my current thought process.
I think what we'll do, we'll divide in two breakout rooms, and we'll think about it how we can invent or create this meaning or purpose in life. What are the possible ways? And we have to constantly relate it back to whatever we are doing right now. I mean, right now, if we are doing TOPG, then we have to ask ourselves, why am I doing TOPG? Why am I making this 3-month investment? Why am I making this 1 hour investment every week, every Monday? Why am I doing all this thing? Why am I recording all these videos? So, so we have to relate this entire discussion to whatever we are doing, because whatever we are doing right now sometimes becomes very, very difficult. You've got so many things to do, and on top of that, I say, do a stammering interview and record it also, and put it on YouTube. so, so relate it to whatever you are doing. And but before we go for breakout room, I just want to share one example which I read somewhere. Somebody gave this a very interesting example. He said, suppose a fork, spoon and fork. So a fork is made in a factory, and it is given a predetermined purpose, that this fork ultimately will go in society and will be used by people to eat, to make their eating easy. So when the fork comes out, and if the fork is not used as a fork, but used as something else, as a toy or something else, then the fork will think that my life is defeated. I'm not fulfilling the purpose of my life. The fork or the spoon is justified in thinking like that, because fork or spoon is manufactured in that sense, in that way, that predetermined purpose. So this philosopher says, are human beings also created in a similar process and given a purpose which they must fulfill after being born? And you cannot easily say yes to that. So how many of you think that that answer could be yes or answer could be no? Those who say answer could be no, just raise your hand.
So sorry, just to clarify, what was the question again?
The question is this: that the way a fork is manufactured in a factory, so that it can be used as a fork. Fork. So so the way fork is manufactured, and then later on it is used as a fork, and that sort of justifies its existence and its creation. Can human being can human birth also be compared to a similar process? Are we also being manufactured like a spoon to be used as a spoon on a dining table? Yes or no? Obviously, no. So therefore, that philosopher was saying that therefore human beings have a lot of freedom of which we are not aware. And therefore we keep on saying these kind of things that he wasted his life. He could have become a great surgeon, but see, he became a social worker. I'm quite sure many of us have been taunted like this by our parents or our family or friends at some stage in life that you have wasted yourself, as if we were a spoon or a fork created with a purpose. So the philosopher is saying that we were not created with a purpose, and therefore we have all the freedom to invent our own purpose here. So okay, so now let us go to the breakout room and think about how can we create, invent, or find. Amit is in room number 1, and I will join room number 2. And before, and then you can join the room, and you have to just discuss this. How can we find purpose in what we are doing right now? How can we find purpose in our life in general? What adds purpose to life? What adds meaning to life? Think and debate on these things and make a list.
Recording in progress.
Basically, Dr. Sachin was discussing about the purpose of life. Is there a purpose to life? And sir had given us 3 options. One of the options was, yes, there is a predetermined purpose to our life. The second option was that there is no predetermined purpose. Rather, we have to find our purpose in life. And the third option was there is no purpose to life. You are just life. So you are free to choose one of those 3 options and then discuss about it.
Okay, thank you for this.
So
Yeah, anyone would like to go first?
I think Vinayak should
Us.
go. I think Vinayak should go because Vinayak didn't get a chance to speak at all. Sorry, Vinayak, I missed you in the main session.
No, like I joined the meeting late, sir. Certainly. Yeah.
So why don't Vinayak you share what is your position? Do you think there's a purpose to life?
Sir, my heart tells me to choose the third point that you mentioned, that life has no purpose. But that has still not come to my experience. So probably uh, I would like to go with point number 1, where you are told that life has a predetermined purpose. Because if we think logically, life does have a predetermined purpose, because we all are born to die. So that's the life's purpose if you look at it logically.
But if that is the purpose, then why do we resist death? There are billions of people in front of hospitals who say, "डॉक्टर साहब बचा लो, डॉक्टर साहब बचा लो मेरे को." लोग फिर बचना क्यों चाहते हैं अगर डेथ पर्पस है लाइफ का तो? Why don't
Because
people
we are
agree?
scared. Because we
Why
are
are
scared
they?
to live. Because we
Why?
are scared to live, we are scared of death.
Over to Madhurima. Madhurima, you also somehow escaped in the main session. What is your take? Is there purpose in life? Is it predetermined or open-ended? What is it?
Sir, I feel that we go through different stages of life. So the first one is that we don't have a purpose in life, like when we are a child. Then when we grow up, so then maybe God determines a purpose, like for us, that like the people who stammers, like God gives them this stammering, so that they can become stronger, and maybe like find a purpose in life. And then like when we grow more, so we try to choose the purpose in our life, for me, now I want my purpose to advocate about stammering. So this three um, these three work together, so I can't choose one of them.
I agree with you that that in our long life we pass through different phases, and in different phases, different kind of ideas appeal to us, and in different phases, we might sort of interpret life differently.
Yes,
Quite understandable. Yes, I agree with you. So, so
Uh,
now the question is this: are we going to wait for God to give us purpose in our next phase of life? You said that now you want to do advocacy for stammerers. So did God tell you to do advocacy for stammerers, or was it your own invention, your own creation?
sir, pardon, please, because your audio is a bit unclear.
So let me. Uh, I will put off my video and then I'll try to talk again. So what I'm saying is, in your present state of mind, in your present state of life, uh, who is deciding the purpose of your life? You yourself or God?
Me, sir, me, like I am uh, deciding my purpose in life, and God is showing the path, like I feel that God is telling me that like no, like what to say, like God is showing me the path that um, if I choose a wrong path, so he tells me sometimes that maybe they are like this is a wrong path, so like choose some other path. So this is what I feel, and like I have experienced this sometimes. So maybe this is a kind of weird thing to say, but this is my opinion. Like,
Thank you so much, Madhurima. It's totally fine. We all will have different understanding of our lives and life's purpose. It's totally fine. So over to Vinayak. Vinayak, now the topic is this: how do we develop a purpose? How do we create a purpose? How do we invent one?
Sir,
Because all of us are now in a stage where we believe that we can do it. We don't have to wait for God to tell us that purpose of your life is this. Go ahead and do it.
uh,
How do we
so
do it?
so so we probably don't have to go into the specifics of it, but like we can set the right context through which we can find our own purpose. So, like there are two major driving forces according to me. They are pain and love. Uh, so, if we have experienced a lot of pain in our life, then we'll have the purpose to, to just solve that pain, or uh, to not give that pain to others, like to do to do seva for others. So like pain can be a big driving factor, or love can be a big driving factor, where you love everybody, so you do something for them. So even that will also become like seva. You do something because you love doing it, so even that can be a purpose. Yeah, so that's my take on this. Like, we can set the right context in our mind. Through that we can naturally, we will find, a purpose that is uh, re- re- relevant to our life and to our world.
Thank you, Vinayak. Over to Arjun. Arjun, how do we discover purpose of our lives? I mean,
Yes, sir.
you can quote Sadhguru. You are most welcome to do that. I mean, you can go back to his quote which you shared. If you're looking for purpose of life,
Yes,
go beyond body and mind.
yes, yes.
You shared. I liked it. So I think I'll say it again and again.
Yes, sir. Uh, Sir, I just think that if we look for some uh, purpose in life, it means we are limiting our life. I think if we can live a life beyond purpose or beyond limits, we will not end up restricting ourselves. And I think one of the main aspects of life is to live life fully and to live life with all inclusivity. I think if we can live as one instead of seeing ourselves as separate from the rest of the world, I think if there is a union between me and the universe, if it's all one, if it's all inclusive, then I think at this national conference, one of the participants asked you, sir, you have recovered from your stammering long time back, but how come you are giving back to TISA so much? For which you replied, we are all fingers of the same hand. So it's not like you are doing a seva. It's because you feel connected with everyone, you just do it. So if one hand is burning, the other hand will try to help me, will try to push this hand or take this hand away. That is not called charity or seva. It does it because there is a sense of inclusiveness. So I think the ultimate purpose of yoga itself is union. The whole meaning of yoga is union. So I think if we can live in union, I think that will form the foundation of life, from where you can do whatever you want to do, because whatever you do from that state of oneness or union will be fantastic.
So my question is, how can, for example, a doctor find connection with his clients, with his patients? How can a speaker find connection with his audience?
Correct.
Especially if the audience is if the speaker is stammering and the audience is smiling.
Yes,
How do they find connection with each other?
yes,
So think about it. Think about it. This is just a poser for everyone to think about. How do we connect with in those difficult situations? Over to Yatharth. Yatharth, how do you find purpose and meaning in life?
Sir, with a sweet and simple answer, if we just remove all the barriers that we have made in our mind, that between me and our purpose. So basically, what I have experienced it, sometimes I want to find purpose. I found a great thought, and I want to work on it and go towards it. But sometimes my some negative thoughts and all comes between, and I just remove forget that purpose in some time. So we really need to, like Sadhguru quotes, we need to go beyond our mind and body. Like we don't care about anything, and we just go to it. It doesn't matter how what all problems will be there, what all benefit, or matlab, you just don't think about anything. You just go to the purpose, whatever it is.
You mean to say, if we can find something bigger than ourselves,
Exactly. Like
if we
it
can
doesn't
fall,
matter if it is giving us benefit or if it is giving us pain. We just want to do it. That's how what purpose is. Like not our what we are feeling with it. Beyond that, basically.
so if we can find a bigger purpose in life, then it will automatically help us to transcend our narrow identity and all
True.
this. Okay,
True.
but how do we find such a purpose?
Exactly, that's what I wanted to ask uh, to the uh, to the circle here. If anyone has found their purpose, I want to know how they did it, and uh, are they going towards it, and what where are they in this journey, and how did they come up to the point that yeah, this is my purpose. I really
I,
want to know from Vikas also. Like he has a startup, so he might be having some very deep clarity on the idea he is working on. So I want to know from the experienced one here what they.
and Vinayak is smiling, so I'm sure he also has found the purpose. So first Vikas, then Vinayak. First Vikas, then Vinayak. Share your secrets.
Okay. Um, so like for me, the one thing that I have seen with me when purpose is evolving, and the one of the reason that I have found for that, when I was quite young, then uh purpose was like uh I would say just to get more of a short-term pleasure, like say uh uh like say when I will substitute a word, then I will not have to face that small rejection, and those small things. And then later on or maybe to get a more salary, or to get something ma material. And when I was getting it, then it was a feeling that I was becoming happy for a few days. That's it. So then on a larger level, what I have realized ki if we can have purpose to uh to make our consciousness higher, and if we can help others for the same, or we can see it from a different view as well, that if we can reduce our suffering, or if we can reduce the suffering of others, So when we have that one, that's like, very deep and very, very large. Le- Like say, when we have Vikar in our mind or someone else mind. So when we work on our own mind to remove those Vikar, and then I have found to build a business or to build any organization when we can relate the same with our users too, like, what value we are giving to our users. If say values like betting games, like, which are not values but d value, where like, the users are getting a short term pleasure, and but they are losing a lot. And say when we build things like this, so that will make a world a worst place then. So maybe I uh, mostly see it like this.
I agree with you. Thank you, Vikas. Over to Vinay.
So from a very young age, like from class ninth onwards, my purpose was spiritual growth. Like, uh, like I may be speaking, or I may be working, or I may be doing anything, but they all should turn into my spiritual sadhana. So, like that's my life's purpose, according to me. That's it.
Why did you wanted to turn everything into a spiritual thing? Why not into material thing? Why not make it a happy thing?
There was a deep inner longing that these material things, they just temporarily, they just satisfied me, but they never completed me. But these spiritual things, they just showed me a small glimpse of what is possible in life.
And as you said earlier, did pain play a role in this development?
Pain, yeah.
So a big
See,
hand to pain, a big hand clap for pain, for all our pain, stammering pain, relationship pain, rejection pain, not getting a job pain, all kind of pain. A big hand to our pain, because pain is the best teacher.
true.
Sir, I wanted to ask you, like, what's your purpose in life and how did you come up with that, Satyendra sir?
As somebody said, I think, as one of you said, that it evolves over a period of, over a long period of time. I mean, I also started my life in a very, like any other person. I also wanted to be happy in this moment. I wanted to earn money. I wanted to become famous. I wanted to speak like Amitabh Bachchan and impress everyone day in and day out. But that was not happening. Leave alone impressing others. I was in deep trouble because I just could not say my name, could not give roll call. I mean, everything which you have been through. So, but gradually, as Vinayak said, these disappointments, these setbacks, they force you to think and rethink. Why am I not getting joy, which I so much want and for which I'm working so much? So these pains keep on telling you that there's something wrong about your whole plan, about your whole project of seeking individual happiness. So it keeps on coming back to you. keeps on coming back to you. And gradually it knocks into your head that you can never find individual happiness as long as others around you are unhappy. It's like people in South Delhi cannot be free of dengue or malaria, as long as in Jhuggi, in Yamuna, Trans Yamuna slums, there are people who are breeding mosquitoes out of ignorance. So in the same way, our seeking individual happiness is a is a project bound to fail. But we realize this only when it has failed multiple times. You keep on trying, you keep on trying, you keep on saying, maybe my last partner was not a faithful partner. This time I'll make sure that I'll find a woman who loves me, not my money. Or you say, my last boss was a horrible guy. I'll change my job and I'll make sure that I'll find a person with whom I can work for a long time. Then something else happens. So these setbacks, they keep on pushing you towards this realization that happiness cannot be found in isolation. Happiness cannot be found at individual level. We can be happy together as a community. So that is how my life also changed gradually. Okay, guys. So I think 9:15 we should be back. Oh, it's 9:18. So let us break out. Let us stop the breakout. So now we will go back to our room, our main session, and we will discuss what are the ways we can do it more efficiently, finding purpose. So Vinayak, have you done things like Vipassana or any other spiritual courses? Brahma
Yes.
Vidya
No. Like I
or market or stock market? Stock market also is a very spiritual course.
maybe. But but uh, but I started with this program called as Inner Engineering by Sadhguru. So from there, I have done many of the Isha practices, and I am doing it regularly from last 5 to 6 years.
I'm very happy, Vinayak, because in TISA we promote all such approaches, all these things which may help us to become more spiritual. Beyond becoming fluent. We always encourage these ideas that becoming fluent, okay, but becoming a better human being is a lot more important. So anything which can help in that department. So welcome back, everyone. Um, let me. So the other group, who would like to summarize findings from the other group? The group Sonam Chaurasia's group. Who would like to summarize your findings from that group in 2 minutes? 2 or 3 ideas. Sanjay, would you like to share what was discussed in your group? How to find purpose in life?
सर हमारे रूम में जो डिस्कशन हुआ सर कि पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ है ना क्लियर भी नहीं होता और ये लाइफ के स्टेजेस के साथ बदलता भी रहता है लेकिन आखिरी में जो अंकित जी ने बोला कि हैप्पीनेस एक पर्पस होता है लेकिन सर मेरा मानना है कि हैप्पीनेस की भी अलग अलग लेयर्ड होती है अगर वो सेल्फ के लिए हैप्पीनेस है तो वो कभी हैप्पीनेस बनेगी कभी वो सोरोनेस बनेगी तो सेल्फलेस जो हैप्पीनेस होती है वो शायद लॉन्ग टर्म रहती है
ठीक है. Thank you so much, Sanjay. And from my group, who would like to share or summarize in couple of lines? I think, can I ask Vinayak to do it? In 2, 3 lines, whatever we discussed.
Yeah. So we went very philosophical actually. So uh, we talked about the way our life will get purpose either through love or through pain. Like these two can be the major driving factors in our life. So through that we can find our purpose. Then we also discussed that the uh, purpose in our life, like they slowly evolve with our life. Like at different stages in our life, we have different purposes, and we learn through evolution. Yeah, I think these were the general things that were discussed.
Thank you, Vinayak. I will request Dr. Amit also to share his ideas whenever he's ready. And in the meantime, um, a couple of people who were left behind in the opening session, like Sonam Chaurasia. Sonam, congratulations on your marriage, and
Thank you, sir.
I hope everything went very well. You are looking radiant. So, so Sonam, what is your take on this? Is there a purpose to your life, or do you think you have to find it?
Sir, right now, I don't have any purpose in my life, but some like I have some goals in my life कि मतलब मुझे spiritually ये करना है या फिर मुझे अपने 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 करियर को आगे करने के लिए क्या ये करना है या फिर मेरे अंदर ये कमी है इसको ठीक करने के लिए ये करना है। मतलब ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि पूरी जिंदगी के लिए एक पर्पस है जिसके लिए मैं अभी से जीना शुरू कर रही हूँ। तो ऐसा कोई पर्पस नहीं है, मतलब स्मॉल गोल्स कह सकते हैं।
Okay,
तो
Sonam.
कुछ वैसा है मेरे साथ अभी।
Got it. Thank you so much. Rajat is here. Rajat, what is the purpose of your life? Because you are the one who started this whole discussion about purpose and all. Rajat, बताइए।
सर सर जो भी मैं बात करूंगा अपने दिल से बोलूंगा क्योंकि ये मेरा एक इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक था, क्योंकि मेरे माइंड में काफी बार आता है ये। सर मेरी जो लाइफ का जो पर्पज है वो मेरे पिछले 3-4 साल के समथिंग में मेरे को मालूम चला है अभी, क्योंकि मैं 3-4 साल से मैं अकेले रहता हूँ। तो मतलब एक लॉन्ग टाइम तक अकेले रहता हूँ, तो उसमें क्या है कि मैं पूरी डे की एक्टिविटी को या मैं जो भी काम में दे रहा हूँ या जो भी काम मैं कर रहा हूँ, तो मैं खुद से उसको मेजर करता हूँ कि मैं अभी क्या कर रहा हूँ, ये क्यों कर रहा हूँ मैं, और मेरी लाइफ का क्या उद्देश्य है। सपोज करो यदि मेरी लाइफ का उद्देश्य ये है कि मेरे को अभी खूब ज्यादा मेहनत से नौकरी पानी है और मेरे को अपनी जो फैमिली वालों ने जो मेरे को दिया है फिर मेरे को उनको देना है। फिर आता है कि सपोज करो यदि मैं उनको दे भी दूं, तो अल्टीमेटली लाइफ का जो एंड है वो ये है कि उनकी भी एक दिन डेथ हो जाएगी। यानी कि सपोज करो आज की उनकी एज 50 साल है, तो 30 साल के समथिंग में यदि मान लें कि अजम्पशन मान लें कि 30 साल बाद उनकी डेथ हो जाएगी, तो तो फिर क्या रहेगा लाइफ का उद्देश्य। तो फिर मेरे को ये चीज समझ में आने लगी कि ठीक है वो हमारा एक कर्तव्य है कि जो अपन को करनी चाहिए, बट का केवल एक ही वो उद्देश्य अभी है नहीं। तो चूंकि मेरे को स्टेमरिंग भी है, तो इसने भी मेरे को काफी चीजें सिखाई हैं। तो अब मैं एक लाइफ को एक ब्रॉड पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचता हूँ कि जितनी भी मेरी अभी एज है और मैं जितने भी साल में जीना चाहता हूँ, उनमें से मैच करके अभी जितनी भी एज है, मैं उनमें कुछ ऐसा चीज करूँ या अपने जो लेवल को अभी मेरी ये संभावना है कि मैं अपने उसकी चरम स्थिति तक मैं जाने की मैं कोशिश करूंगा मैं उनकी को। और मैं जहां तक भी जो चीजें अच्छी हैं, मैं अपनी तरफ से कोशिश करूंगा कि उनको भी एक ब्रॉड लेवल में लेके जाया जाए, जिससे कि ओवरऑल मैं मानता हूँ कि हर काम में एक हमें अंदर से संतुष्ट होनी चाहिए, हैप्पी कि मैं इस काम को लेकर वो खुश हूँ। बट ओवरऑल ये एक हमारे ऊपर या मैं की जिम्मेदारी के भी रूप में लेना चाहता हूँ कि जिन चीजों की भी वाकई में नीड है और तुम्हें उनका मालूम है, तो ये तुम्हारी जिम्मेदारी है कि तुम लॉन्ग वे में लेके जाओ। सो ये एक मैंने भारी रूप से बोला है सर। तो ये मेरा अभी लाइफ का वो है पर्पस सर।
थैंक यू रजत, बहुत अच्छा बोला आपने और एकदम समझ में आया, एकदम सही बोला आपने। थैंक यू सो मच रजत। Now I will request Dr. Rajas to summarize or come up with some couple of ideas how we can uh, add meaning to our years, add meaning to our life, find purpose in our life, especially people like us who are stammering and who are coming out of stammering and who are trying to work on stammering. Over to Dr.
I think a lot of things that were said in this session, certainly in the group I was in, speak to potential. How do we explore our potential? Now, if you're using the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset, then you have to buy into the notion that your potential is unknown and it is also unknowable because you're always changing. You're always changing through your efforts, so everything is in flux. But the idea of exploring your potential, whether that potential in your life stage, drives you to work on climate change, or your potential at this life stage uh, pushes you to work on your communication skills, uh, or whatever it is. I think the idea of identifying what potential you want to develop and sort of going after that, to me, has been a very big motivating factor. I realized very early on that my potential lay in some sort of a public speaking, public interfacing sort of a situation. What that meant, what that ultimately meant, the how, as Anjay is saying, I didn't know, but the why I was a lot more clear about. So anything I've done in my life is to be put that as forward facing as I possibly can. So I think leading with exploring your potential is actually a useful notion because it backs us into a lot of the why, and it also then makes it a little bit clearer, with the why being a little bit clearer what or how we'll take. So that's what's coming to me right now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amit. तो बेसिकली हम लोग ये बातें कर रहे हैं कि फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट और ओपन माइंडसेट, ग्रोथ माइंडसेट। फिक्स्ड माइंडसेट ये कहता है कि मैं मैथ्स में कभी भी अच्छा नहीं था, इसलिए मैंने कॉमर्स ले ली, मैं आर्ट साइड में चला गया क्योंकि मैथ्स मेरे बस की नहीं है। ये फिक्स माइंडसेट है कि मैं मैथ्स के लिए नहीं बना हूँ, मैथ्स मेरे बस की नहीं है। और ग्रोथ माइंडसेट ये है कि अगर मैं ये कहूँ अपने आप से कि ठीक है मैं मैथ में फेल हो गया था हाई स्कूल में, पर मैं फिर भी ट्राई करता रहूंगा, क्या पता मैं मैथ में अच्छे नंबर ले आऊँ किसी दिन। और ऐसे करते करते एक दिन मैं वास्तव में मैथ्स में बड़ा अच्छा स्टूडेंट बन जाता हूँ। तो ग्रोथ माइंडसेट वर्सेस फिक्स माइंडसेट की ये जो इमेज हम यूज कर रहे हैं कि व्हेन यू से दैट आई वाज born to become a doctor या आई वाज born to become a programmer, then you are leaning into fixed mindset कि by becoming a programmer I am fulfilling my limited potential which was limited only to become a programmer. बट ग्रोथ माइंडसेट ये कहेगा कि आप अपने आप से ये कह रहे हो कि मेरे को नहीं मालूम कि मैं क्या क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं क्या नहीं कर सकता हूँ, मेरा अपना पोटेंशियल मुझे नहीं मालूम है और किसी दूसरे को भी नहीं पता है। कोई दूसरा भी ये नहीं कह सकता यू कैन ओनली प्रोग्राम ए कंप्यूटर, यू कैन नेवर क्रिएट ए पेंटिंग, यू कैन नेवर क्रिएट म्यूजिक। तो कोई दूसरा भी नहीं कह सकता और मैं भी नहीं कह सकता कि मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ क्या नहीं कर सकता हूँ। और इसलिए मुझे एक्सप्लोर करना चाहिए, और एक्सप्लोर करते 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 शायद मुझे वो मिल जाए जो मुझे कुछ कुछ पर्पस जैसा लगने लगे जिंदगी का, कि हाँ शायद ये मेरा लाइफ का पर्पस हो सकता है। और आज की डेट में ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं जिन्होंने आईएएस क्वालिफाई किया मगर छोड़ के फिर कुछ और करने लग गए डॉक्टरी पास कर ली, छोड़ के कुछ और करने लग गए, प्रोग्रामिंग करी कुछ साल फिर कुछ और करने लग गए। तो ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं। तो बेसिकली वो ये कह रहे हैं कि पर्पस हैज टू बी एक्सप्लोर्ड विद द ग्रोथ माइंडसेट that you do not know your own potential, nobody else does, and so therefore you can explore and find out and come up with new ideas and new things. So thank you so much, everyone, and let me invite Dhruv to, because he has done a lot of these lane changes in life, starting from a restraint restaurant in China to farming in America. He was working in an actual farm, dirtying his hands, all those things. So, Dhruv, so you can specifically answer this question. How can we find our purpose?
And how long do I have? That's a big question.
One life.
One line.
One life.
Oh, one life. One thing that helped me is to answer the question, what makes you happy? And then draw that. So on a get a blank piece of paper or whatever, and just draw what makes you happy. And I think that's yeah. If that makes sense to you, you can try doing that. And the second thing I want to say is don't be afraid to change careers. And even change, if you studied engineering and now you want to go be a farmer. Um, um, what can I say? So fear, of course, is one thing. How am I going to make money is one thing, but I think the bigger thing in our minds is like, what will people think? What will my parents think or my family think? So I think one thing I've realized is we don't have to be so afraid of what people think, which obviously relates to stammering as well. Um, if you know why you're doing it and you are convinced that this is the right thing to do, then have conversations with people, but really like know why you're doing it first. So journal about it, think about it, understand it yourself first, and then you can explain to others. And people will understand. Your parents are going to support you most of the time, I think. Of course, they're going to ask you questions about money and stuff, which anyways, practical things that you'll have to figure out. But yeah, I think that shame, we like need to lose the shame of, I studied this, so I have to do this. That's not the case. Like I've changed careers, I don't know, 4 times, fields. Dr. Sachin also has been in the, I think in the Indo-Tibetan police force at some point in time. And so he's done a lot of different things, and I think it's perfectly fine and normal, and in fact, makes life more exciting when you try different things and explore. So.
Has anyone read that book or heard about Ikigai, that Japanese thing? So what Dhruv was saying reminded me something from Ikigai book, where they say that make a circle of the things which you are good at, which give you joy doing, then make another circle which could be overlapping, things which are valued by people, for which they will pay. So for example, if I like to write, and if I can find a niche where for my writing people will be willing to pay, and then make one more circle thing which you can, so in Ikigai they are using this concept where you are thinking not only of the things which you are good at, which will give you joy, but also the thing or the overlap between the things which people value in society. So like starting a self-help group, you like to talk, you like to organize people, you like to organize things, you like to organize birthday parties. And if there is a scope for having a self-help group in a city, then why not start a self-help group and organize a birthday party every second Saturday of the members, and talk and become the master of ceremony, which you've been wanting to do from your very childhood. So think, so like this in Ikigai, they give you kind of a idea how you can analyze things and come up with the one or two activities which could become purpose of your life. Of course, you do a lot of things to reach there. So I thank you so much, everyone. We had a very good discussion. It's 9:36. Um, before we end, we will have a little bit of meditation. Unless somebody has got a question or some comment, some feedback. Dr. Amit, whenever you have to leave, don't hesitate. Just leave.
No, I wanted to say one thing actually, if it's okay, if I can have like 2 minutes. I've not been here in the TOPG for the last 4 weeks. I'm sorry for some of it because truly it was out of my hands to a certain extent. At the same time, One of the things I think that I have missed in the community here and missed also guiding the process a little bit because I was involved in planning some of it with Dr. Srivastav is the speech motor work. So I'm wondering whether next week on Monday, maybe for the next 2 weeks, but definitely next week, if we could sort of dedicate the Monday to reviewing some of the techniques that we have been working with, whether it's cancellations and pullouts or any of those kinds of things, to sort of people feel a little bit more um, in charge of their speech. I'd be happy to guide it. It'd be like a masterclass, which I ran a couple of years ago. It's there on YouTube as well. I think Rajat participated in that one. तो अगर कैंसलेशंस और पुल-आउट्स में थोड़ा फोकस कर सकते हैं अगले हफ्ते तो ठीक रहेगा. And I also want to start with basically a reflective sort of an exercise about like what does it mean? Like we talk a lot about it's okay to be a person who stammers. It's okay to stammer. I want to explore that a little bit more. What is okay about it? What is not okay about it? So be thinking about that a little bit because I think we lead with that little bit of a conversation next week, and then delve right into some hands-on speech motor work with some cancellations and pull-outs. I missed those particular weeks particularly, and I think a lot of the other topics can be ongoing, but that's a very technical thing which I can probably help with. So I'm happy to be helpful in that next week.
I think it's a good idea because you've already practiced basic techniques, bouncing, prolongation, and pausing, voluntary stammering. So now I think we are just ready for pull out and cancellation. So good idea. So next Monday we can take up that. And in the meantime, before that, I will share the recorded sessions of those master classes so that people can see and get ready for that. Thank you so much, Dr. Amit. That's a really good idea. We will do that. Anybody else want to share something or any thought, any concern? Dr. Amit, when would you like to have their journals? Just let me know whenever.
Keep on working on it. I'll be looking at it as well. Just like you are. So there's no particular date, but those of you who are writing journals, keep writing them, and we'll look at them periodically. I think Sagar has a comment or a question. Do you want on next, Sagar?
Yes, sir.
Sachin sir, I have the question for you. Like you showed the first slide in which you have gave the three options. So like I have the same question for you. What do you think about it?
As I said in my group, that I also evolved through all these stages. When I was a little child, I thought there's no purpose to life. Just somehow get away from your. Then there was a time when I thought that there must be some purpose to my life, but I couldn't figure it out. So I kept on listening to my to adult people around me. Somebody said, "ये पढ़ने में अच्छा है, इसको डॉक्टर बनाना चाहिए." So I also agree with that. I thought maybe that is the purpose of my life. But gradually over the years, I realized that all these are. Uh, Gradually, I came to understand that we have a lot of freedom which we do not realize. We have total freedom to give a new purpose to our life, invent a purpose, find meaning. We can do anything, almost anything. Yes, we are free. Okay. So, any more questions or thoughts or ideas? Anybody want to share? Okay, good. So, I just want to conclude the whole thing by saying that this video, at the end of the video, Viktor Frankl is saying that you can find meaning uh, by doing these three things. I mean, he's offering three ideas basically. There can be many more ways of finding purpose and meaning to life. One, he says that by creating a work or creating a a work of art, or finding a work which is bigger than yourself and which gives meaning to your life. It could be writing a book. It could be creating a masterpiece, uh, art form. It could be creating a AI company, which nobody has ever thought of, and you come up with this. Like Vikas is doing something like digitization of insurance business. Am I right, Vikas?
Yes, sir. You are right.
So, so, so that could be very meaningful for Vikas. It may not be meaningful for other people because they may not understand what's happening. But for Vikas, it gives a huge meaning to his life. And once with this startup, it will help him forget little aches and pains of life. So, so you create some work of art, or you find some work which adds meaning to your life. It could be, for example, if you are a nurse or a doctor, you can find meaning in that nursing service or medical service or therapeutic service. You are a therapist. You find great meaning when you help people when they go away satisfied from your clinic. Second was the finding some experience which adds meaning to life, or experience a relationship which adds meaning to your life. The obvious example comes to us would be finding love, finding love of your life. But obviously, Viktor Frankl is talking way beyond that. For example, a child who has got a cancer, and doctors say there's no hope. But for father, this child, this relationship has got huge meaning, and he will keep on battling daily battles of his life, slogging away at a job, keep on earning and saving money to take care of his children, because that relationship is very meaningful to him. And the third idea which he's sharing is change the attitude itself. He says the third thing is when circumstances are beyond uh, um, is beyond your control, you cannot do anything. For example, he's talking about his own life when he was a prisoner in a concentration camp in Germany, and everything around him was very hopeless, pessimistic, oppressive, and he just couldn't change anything. So then he found meaning by changing his attitude towards his suffering. So whatever we are doing, if we can change our attitude towards it, for example, suppose you're doing a 10 to 5 job, selling your soul. Why? Because you have to have paycheck at the end of the month, and the work is so uninspiring. But if you can change your attitude to in that work, if you can say, every day I go to post office because some villager will be waiting there for me to buy post from me. So when you change your attitude to your work, that enriches your life. That gives meaning to your life. Like for example, school teachers. We all know that being a school teacher in a government primary school can be very boring. But I've met such teachers who take great pride in their work, even though they are being paid pittance. They are being paid peanuts, and there's everything is wrong in their life. Furniture is broken. Everything is very bad, ramshackle. But still, they continue teaching, and they take a lot of pride in the work which they are doing. If you talk to those teachers, they will say, Pradhan of so and so village, he studied under me, and I taught him how to write his name. So, third thing is changing your attitude. So, creating a work of beauty, something which helps you transcend your life, your limited self, relationships. For example, Vikas's relationship with his startup team could be the reason for him to go on living, facing all the difficulties. And third is changing your attitude to your work or to your surroundings or to your life, and that can make your life meaning. So thank you so much, everyone, and big thanks to Amit and welcome back. Uh, and the homework will I'll be giving you in Telegram group. Does anyone want to say anything? कोई नारा आखिर में, कोई नारा देना चाहता है? Vinayak, you want to say something? One liner?
Like the main liner of our TISA group, like हकलाओ मगर प्यार से.
जूझो मत अपने आप से. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Take care. Take care.